What's up athletes, and welcome to this video. In this video we're gonna test and review the GARMIN FORERUNNER 245 Music. In this review we are gonna go over the specs that Garmin gives us, the build quality, the comfort, the battery life, the functionalities and features, the overall pros and cons, and a conclusion / recommendation / rating of me for the watch. So stay till the end for seeing the result. Write down in the comments if you use a watch to track your runs, and if so, which watch are you using. Let's start with the review. The GARMIN FORERUNNER 245 Music comes in a price of 240 euros depending on where you buy it, so it is not the cheapest watch but also one of the more cheaper watches on the market, considering that to other watches. This is a really lightweight watch and has up to 7 days battery life and 6 hours in GPS plus music mode. It comes with the Garmin Connect app for reviewing and analyzing your runs. With this app you can really go into detail and analyze your runs because it gives you data like your km splits, your average heart rate and step rate, so a cool add-on for the watch. The packaging is really nice and minimalistic. What is included in the box that comes with the watch? You get of course the GARMIN FORERUNNER 245 Music, instructions and a USB charging cable. When I first had the watch in my hands, I was really impressed by the weight of the watch. I mean, it is really lightweight, which for running is optimal because then you don't feel the watch. And it really is. I never feel like my arm gets tired because of the weight, and this is a huge plus point for the watch. This build quality is good. It uses some strong and last-long materials, which you want when you're using a running watch in all conditions, but the materials don't feel as premium if you get my point. Like, the buttons feel good, but are sometimes hard to press, which lowers the rating and build quality. But overall, the build quality is super fine, you cannot complain about it, just some little things that maybe can get improved. So for the build quality, the watch gets 9 out of 10 points. As I said, the comfort of this watch is super good, especially because of the weight. But it also has a rubber-like strap band for your wrist, which is really soft and flexible, that gives you optimal wearing comfort. Comfort-wise, this is definitely a 10 out of 10. Now for the battery life, Garmin says that you have up to 7 days battery life when you're just using it normally and 6 hours when it's in GPS and music mode. I only use this watch for my runs, so I don't use it that much when I'm outside, but I can say that the battery for me is not that good. One day I did a 15km tempo run in 1 hour 5 or something. With warm up and cool down, I was maximum 1.5 hours outside. I started with 100% battery life, and when I finished my workout it was at 43%, which, if you do the math, would mean that it will only last for about 3 hours. This is half of the time what Garmin says. You need to take in account that on this day it was cold, windy and rainy, and I was listening to music the whole time, but still, for 1.5 hour training, more than 50% battery life was gone. In the everyday use for running training, I usually have to charge my watch after every 2 to 3 runs. But a plus point is that it charges fast and you don't have to wait that long till it's at 100% again. Please note, I only use this watch for running, not in everyday scenarios, which then they say that it can last for up to 7 days, which is insanely good, but for me, for my usage, the battery life is not as good, which is why it gets 6.5 out of 10 points. When it comes to the functionality and features, this is where the GARMIN FORERUNNER 245 Music can collect points. The variety of features that come with the watch is just insane. For what do I use this watch? I use it mainly for tracking my runs, or when I'm stretching I know how long I have to do each exercise. I mostly do 3 workout types, which I explain in a video called How to Run a Fast 5K, and for those training, this watch is pretty good. For me, I needed a watch that can display my heart rate because I do a lot of heart rate based training, and that has the ability to connect to Spotify so I can listen to music while running without bringing my phone with me. This watch is not only a running watch, it also can track your bike rides or swimming sessions, which makes it to a great versatile sport/training equipment for athletes. Because it does so much, it gets 10 out of 10 points for functionality. As mentioned, this watch comes with a ton of features. There's customization for each training, customization for each individual workout, so you can personalize your training data that you want to your personal preference. You can also add new training sites for training sessions that are not pre-made. I made my own site for stretching, for example. Here's my setup for my trainings. I have my easy run setup with distance, time, pace and heart rate. Then for intervals I have lap distance, lap time and pace. And for tempo runs I have pace, average pace and distance, and I'm explaining later why I have 2 pace feeds there. The amount of features is insane and you can get really into detail, analyze almost everything. Mostly the GPS is accurate and fast, but sometimes it needs a few seconds and meters to be precisely and getting good data. As mentioned, I wanted a watch that can play music when I'm running, so I don't have to bring my smartphone with me, and this is another great feature of the GARMIN FORERUNNER 245 Music. You can connect it to Spotify, where you then can download your playlist directly to the device. Then I connect my AirPods with the watch and I'm ready to go running while listening to music without bringing my smartphone with me. If you have one, you have the ability to connect your chest strap to the watch for collecting more precise heart rate data. When I finish running and I'm near my phone, it automatically synchronizes it to it, so I have all my data ready for analyzing. It goes from showing your km split, your average pace, a graph of your running route with different colors depending on how fast you went, your average step rate to your average heart rate. This app is great for tracking your progress you make over the months of training. So overall, in the category features, the watch gets 9.5 out of 10 points. Why 9.5? Well, this will be explained in just a few seconds. Here are the pros and the cons of the GARMIN FORERUNNER 245 Music. We start with the cons because they are not much for me but have to be mentioned. Firstly, battery life. As I said, it don't last me for 6 hours of training, even though they write it on their package, and I rather charge it before running so I can go safely for my workout without having the fear that the battery dies mid-training. And secondly, not seeing the exact pace. Remember when I talked about my preset training site for tempo runs? I have average pace and current pace set to it, because Garmin shows only 5-second differences. What I mean by that is that if you run a 4:23 pace, it will show you 4:25 pace. Pro for that is that it is eventually more accurate, but in a marathon where 2 to 3 seconds are in total very much, you cannot rely on this daily. This is why I have added average pace to how fast I'm going, and I'm experimenting with other settings like round pace. And it explains why it gets 9.5 out of 10 points in the features category. But the pros clearly overweight. First of all, the watch is very lightweight, which is phenomenal for running because you don't feel like wearing something on your arm. The build quality and comfort is also super good. I'm really impressed by the app that gives you a ton of data to analyze. And just overall the features and the functionality is just insane for such a small device. Before we come to the overall rating, I would like to make a recommendation for whom this watch could be. I would say this watch is for athletes that look for an option for not bringing their smartphone with them while their activities, while also can collect a ton of data to analyze. Because it can do so much and is more of a cheaper model from Garmin, I would recommend this watch for athletes that are starting with running or need an upgrade from their old watch. I'm very happy about this watch and I use it for all my runs right now. The overall rating of the GARMIN FORERUNNER 245 Music is 9 out of 10 points. Thanks for watching this review. If you liked the video and want to see more running equipment reviews, more running workouts, more running content, then feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. Keep running and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!